this. Okay, and like this. So, as far as you noticed, I did found your match history. Currently, you are master, and you play quite a lot of Yunara. Yunara is pretty good, honestly, as a champion. Currently, really good with the Lulu. Um, so like Yunara, and mainly, I think you mainly just like spam the same champion over and over. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's totally fine. So you have like also like two item options if you notice. So you can rush Untel and go full crit, which is totally fine. Or B scenario, you can also go Kraken and then still go full crit, of course. Then I notice you go kind of like PD. Let's see which games do you get PD. So it seems like almost every game we get PD. You have the alternative option as well, where PD could be fine. I would say in some games where you would value more mobility. It gives also more attack speed than your alternative item. There's the other item that gives you like crits.
Uh, Fiend Hunter
Fiend
bullets, and
Hunter
there's
bullets, right? So that's like really
yeah.
useful against squishy champions, especially practical. Um, in games like this, so for example, like if you get the hat here, Fiend Hunter is like really high quality, really nice item. Just because like here, what's gonna happen is that Blitzcrank hooks, and we have some other bursty champions, so we kind of like want to pop our R, then we want to like look for more if it makes sense, because they're mainly like really squishy champions, so they're gonna have to die in like a fast rotation if it makes sense. It's Yuntal is the type of thing that can work and it's fine if you kind of like get away with it by just scaling, because certainly it's like a weaker item, early on
Yeah.
once you get it, right? But once it stacks up, and I would say like once you get like one more crit item, then it starts hurting harder. Also, of course, also the other downside, it doesn't have like the Kraken's, mobility. So I think there are like ups and downs. It's like early game pressure, better components as well, which is arguably really nice versus like better scaling. So I would say if you look yourself into scaling, then yes, I would say like Yuntal is a bit better.
Can I do mention something about my build? I think Yunara is like a stat check champ, right?
Okay.
And I don't think she loses the power to stat check other ADCs when you go. If I have first item Yunta versus first item Kraken, you know, I will still stat check if that makes sense.
So how does it go though? Because you have Yuntal, and so it provides attack speed once you proc the item, right? Then it has a cooldown. Now, if you crit, you will not insta reset it as a first item, right? But if you're gonna have crit, then it's gonna reset way more smoothly as the game goes on, right? Now, what Kraken does provide you is that many things you're gonna be better at, because look, for example, if you were to like basic attack with Yuntal, you already have to brute force, and there will be no like spaces to even short trade with Kraken procs. As for example, you get 2 stacks of a minion, you were to basic attack trade, and then you can get like a little bit of short trade off. Or if you were to hit the tower, you want to short trade with your basic attack, with the empowered basic attack from Kraken, then you can short trade, right? So as you can see, like most of the pros and the builds quite often still run Kraken into Fiend Hunter. I would say Yuntal into IE could also arguably be fine, but then you will lack a lot of mobility. So I think the downside is really there, that you will lack the mobility, early game power spike, and Yuntal also requires you to like all in, and if they were to just short trade, or you will lack the mobility to fight, then that will also suck. That's like the downside of like not having these items. Because it basically means that I just wanna like basic attack you continuously, and you will do the same thing to me as my opponent. If that's not how their champion is being played out, as if someone wouldn't be playing Draven into you, but they would be playing Ezreal, then that's where you can see that maybe you would value more the mobility, from Kraken, and the other one, Fiend Hunter.
See, yeah, that does make sense.
So then I would say like, yeah, like if they have mainly champs within like your own like tethering range, then yeah, you could go for this build. Um, then it's also like comes down to like what happens. So for example, you basic attack, you proc Yuntal, and then how do the fights like pace out, you know, like do I get to like commit, or do I just get like a short trade basic off a W and I can't like fully all in, you know, because then Yunta's value gonna be a bit lower if you think about it, you know,
Yes.
especially into like
Okay.
mages and whatnot, right? So it's that's kind of like the downside, you know, is there. uh Plus at that point then yes, your support has to be like automatically like an engaged support, you know. um But aside of that, I think you should also like quite often go the attack speed item as much as possible. Actually, even especially if they don't have early game pressure. In here, we're facing an Akshan and Tariq. Now you do outrange the Akshan because you have 75 more range, so you will not have trouble into, you know, short trading into him or perhaps CSing until you scale up with the levels. So the attack speed item is seen to be a better item component actually, but you know what's smart that you could also do? You could also just get a longsword, which really sound old school, but you could get a longsword, or and just get like the new defensive starter item, you know, which also could be fine into like bursty champions.
Longsword. First item.
Yeah, you could longsword it, and then you could also just get the other like starter item, Doran's helm actually, or some people also like Doran's helm started. Um, you just kind of like have to find like the game for it actually, where you would say like this will provide me like enough stats, you know. It's more of a like a Samira item, but I could see it like being an angle on like on certain champions, certain ADCs.
Let me check the stats on the helm.
Because now it's like very price efficient and it's also like sort of like very defensive. So it provides HP, mixed resistances, which is seen to be a good thing because they have both an AD and an AP assassin here. The stats are pretty good honestly as a defensive tool. But I would say in here you just probably get built by trash, and I think you will just have a good time if you just go Doran's bow honestly. Doran's
Yeah.
bow barrier. Maybe if you would lack the peel, I would say then it could cook. But anyways, which game do you want to be rewatched here?
Um. Let me look. I think the 4, 4, and 5.
4, 4, and 5. Let's see.
I think if I am better at the game, I win this game.
So, what support do we have? We have Rel. Rel is pretty OP now, huh? Decent with Yunara.
If I remember the game correctly, we like first blood, and then I overstay, and then I have a really shit pace.
Oh, you
The
actually have
game
3
is.
million on Yunara, huh? Oh, that's
Um,
crazy. The champion didn't even get released like too long ago, actually.
yeah.
It's crazy. Okay, so there's this side. Let's just jump to the right side of the map. Um, so Rel. What are our runes? Let's see our conditions currently. So we have generic stuff, little tempo, triumph, bloodline for healing, cut down. Now how practical is cut down this game? Because early on it does provide some pressure. As the game passes, you know, often what will happen is that your Yunara, Yon, Shivana, not Yunara, I mean your Rel will engage, and you know they will be generally like under 60% or around, and the value of cut down will just kind of like go down, and they also did bug fix it. So in certain games it does provide like a bit more damage, I would say, when people are healthier, but then it does also like kind of like fall off, you know, if it makes sense. So I would say like in this type of games it's usually a bit better if you don't go for it. um,
See.
I think the guy actually missed the ward, or is it in the bush? And it looks like it.
That's my wide. I always aim it in the corner.
Ah,
So I avoid it as fast as I can, so they can't kill it.
also, you missed up your spacing a little bit. You got like a shot into you, and this one really does hurt actually. So that's something I would really watch out for, because that's like 100 plus damage.
Yeah, yeah. I remember this. I was like, how do I get how do I walk up for headshot?
So usually you can just walk in a way that it creates like a really like bad like space for Caitlyn to like get that headshot off, you know. So if Rel can jump in, you know what you wanna do? You wanna kinda like rotate upwards from her basic attack if she walks like this. And if she walks too deep, then Rel can jump, you know, then you can commit as well. But yeah, normally you kinda don't wanna like full send it. You don't wanna walk into him.
Yeah, it's very bad.
Kind of sucked because like yeah, the ward really didn't go in. But did it go in? I'm not even 100% sure.
Yeah, the wide is in. The wide is in.
Kind of
That's
looks
my
like
wide.
yeah, it kind of looks like it's out, but it's in. Also in here we got like a nice little all in. So I think it's really good that you're forcing this all in. We are pretty strong with lethal tempo and Q up. So you keep stacking your lethal tempo, and then you utilize your basic attack reset of your Q. Then we get a nice. She steals it. Okay, that's also fine. Alistair flashes for fun. Oh, I kinda don't
I
like
think
that you're
here.
not walking up for last hits if you notice. Like, this was really weird if you noticed. So you get the kill, but then the last hits are dying. So you kinda like wanna kinda like walk upwards to like reach the minions that are about to die. You see this one? If they're full hitting this one and this is going lower on HP, you wanna hit it. Which you don't, and then this minion will die also soon. So you kinda have to like walk up for the next one, you know? So rel double is the whole thing, and you really have to maximize out your last hits, you know, in the first before the first recall, because that's where you're gonna spend your gold, you know. And even if you could get like an extra refillable potion, it would be meaningful enough, you know, if you think about it. Which is only 150 gold and sells for 60, so you really buy it for 90 gold actually. Um, we get this wave in, it's weaved in, nice. And so we still get like a nice long sword. Boots and dagger are also fine.
I think I go call.
Call.
Yeah, I think I go call. I always go call.
Kind of an interactive matchup, and for now they don't have sums actually. Now Kal is only good to accelerate your second item, you know, on Yunara, not really your first item. So I think it's the type of thing where you just kind of lock yourself into scaling, and that's where you can kind of like say, okay, this game I don't want to go boots and dagger, because I look myself into scaling because I'm against maybe like two enchanters. It's not gonna be super interactive. But in here we have more interaction, so that's where like Kal is a bit less recommended than Boots and Dagger, or Boots and Refillable could be also fine. Boots are really nice here because you know how the Alistar works, so they will rush Boots, and if you don't get your own Boots, you will have way less mobility, so it will become way harder to like basic attack than try to like outspace his WQ, you know. So it just really comes down to like at the spacing level, it's also gonna be a bit you're gonna give a harder time for Caitlyn to just basic attack and free trade into you, because you have boots, and then you can like lean into basic attack if it makes sense. So Kal is the one that will give you, you know, generally like less pressure.
Okay, I see.
It's like the nicest thing I would say, boots and refillable, you know, definitely. Um, you also like have some skill shot based engage and stuff, so boots are nice here, super nice.
Could you show me the CS? The scoreboard?
Yeah, so if I tab, we can see you got like for now 28, you got 22. And you know what's interesting? If you have boots, your E is not forced out as early, you know, or maybe not forced out at all in some cases. Because this is a long, actually 9 seconds cooldown, but it's still,
Yeah,
still pretty better if it's like forced out late, you know.
yeah. That does make sense.
So your positioning went a little bit off here though, because I think like Real wants to send his X Flash, he's charging it, but I think you're not stepping up, you know? Because I know like you want to like body language it correctly, but after a certain point there's nothing to body language because this Real is gonna jump on the guy, you know?
I did not think she would jump on the Alistar.
I think she will at least like
Like,
Q trade, but she has her W because she's mounted, you
I
know?
I don't think it's good because I don't have Q stacks. So like I am not like thinking of her flashing in here because I don't think it's good.
The thing is, like, she does a lot of damage as well. She has like a weirdly. Wait, I'm gonna remove this weird. Okay, so weirdly, she has a lot of damage actually on her own, because this champion, you know, does actually get like 20% attack speed, you know, and she does some nice, like, basically, she does some additional damage, removes some armor and more. She gets a little bit of on hit, and her damage is not that bad actually, if you noticed. But you mainly like wanna just short trade a bit, so you don't want to allow them to short trade too hard into your support, if it makes sense. Because even if you don't have stacks, you can get your stacks, little tempo stacks off Alistar, if it makes sense. So I know usually it's a concern that you don't have your Q, but I think if you stepped up a bit earlier, we might even kill this Alistar, you know? Like you see, like in here, this Alistar had no like way of like running away anymore, because he was too deep, and I think you've been still walking, clicking backwards. See, like,
Uh, which one?
see, it's charging the X slash, right? You should look at your support, you know, and you still
Yeah.
clicked backwards, and then you still clicked backwards, but after this point, it was just like cooked, you know, and then you
Uh-huh.
click downwards, you see. Because this is the amount of distance she makes up. She will be in front of his face, she can Q and all that. And we are not really in that range, or at least bare minimum we could hit the minions and walk, hit the minions and walk, which would also help you to stack your Q, you know.
Yes.
I think the main problem you already see, it's like we were really slow at following up.
Okay.
Yeah, but couldn't you just flash in as well? Was that
Uh,
not really, right? Ah,
I don't think so because like Kate has barrier.
yeah, and then she also, yeah, they have healed as well. It's kind of don't really have the conditions for that. We got like a nice little recall here, so we do actually have our call, and then we skip forward. We get our long swords. I think it's really bad that you didn't really buy boots yet, honestly. That can be a bit of a concern into them.
See.
It's like mainly if you have the DPS already, that's nice, and then you got to think about like having the mobility as well, if you think about it. But I think you had magical footwear. Did you have magical? No, you didn't have.
No, no, no.
You said like generic. Wait, but what does summoner spell haste item haste even help with? I guess it helps a little bit with like your Yuntal wild arrows, right?
No, no. I take it because Alistar usually runs it as well, and if he does, he can like flash on me on one engage and force my flash, and on the next engage he can use his summoner spell advantage to get me without flash. You know.
Yeah, yeah, that does help. It does help.
Because if you look at the like if you look at Alistar's flash cooldown,
Yeah, I think they definitely go for it. Because I can hear what even happened. So you hit the wave, and I think then we have zero vision. So did we have any wards actually before we commit for the wave? So you did have wards, and it would be a bit more practical if you walk to lane and ward first, you know. I think at this point there's just like a really like dark area that's kind of like tough to deal with, and now we could be flanked by Alistar very easily. This type of people often also rush 50s whenever they get to, so I think it would be nicer if you started with like an upfront ward, then you try to shove the wave in. Uh-huh. But I think you do see him, but you don't T away or something. In time.
but yeah, I walked towards ward.
Oh, you basic
And then
attacked him, then he got the... I think this guy might have water walking as well there or something, no? It probably just had some...
you can check his runes, I think.
No, he just like walked at you, huh? So I think you messed up by not pressing E in time, then you basic attack back. I think then we wouldn't lose like half of our HP, you know, that to that all in. And I think it's really important for you, because now Drake is up and we would have like a nicer rotation to Drake as well, because this could get much more riskier. So I think even if you didn't ward, at least you could then maybe watch out on the spacing actually, and that would help you actually to like sit in lane a bit longer until you get let's see, what do you need currently. So you decide to recall, let's skip forward, so you get boots this time, and I would say it's fine if you recall now, because it's gonna get harder and harder if you don't like B.
Yeah. And I saw the wave state and I thought it was slow pushing into me, so I thought it was fine to paste it.
Rel has her jump still, but Caitlyn has her E, so it can be really hard to commit for now, I would say. So you just really have to wait until we have better, you know, opportunities to deal with them. But yeah, let's see what's going on here. So we are left alone, but we have vision at least. Alistar is 6, so we should be concerned about his engage, and we should definitely like respect that. Oh, I think just because like the bounce itself, I think you have to 2-hit that cannon, you know.
Yeah, I was very worried about the dive.
Mm-hmm.
The Alistar diving me, that I was like very unfocused on the last hitting.
Yeah, it can be tough. And now it, that's fine. Now she is collapsing, and we could try something here. I think you should then pop your, or you got a still space though. Nice. I think he played it out quite well. You just leave them the. I guess you can last hit it. And that's nice. So for now, we also seen the Ari, the Jarvan, everyone on the map. So we do actually get to go for plates. Now, one thing I would be concerned of, if this Alistar does flash on you, it could get a little bit tough, but now Jarvan respawned already. The other guy is also like walking. Now, if you guys want to greet this, I'm gonna reveal the map, right? So if you guys want to greet this, you guys gotta push this ASAP. So if you remember Jarvan's death timer, he was still dead. If you remember Caitlyn's death timer, he was dead. Both of these were revealed, right? And the next wave is coming. Now, what do we have to do in this case scenario? Well, you walk up, you hit the plate, right? That's nice. We still look at the death timers. This guy's gonna be dead, right? 3 seconds Jarvan, other guy 8 seconds, right? Now, what you can do is just continuously hit the tower as much as possible, and then you gotta like full send it on the wave if you wanna greet. Because this Jarvan, remember, he just now came out of the base a bit faster than Caitlyn, right? So if you really want to, you have to actually step up here, and basically you could even like basic attack the Alistar outside of the tower's reach, of course, and then you could kind of like look for the wave itself. Now the concern is that Alistar could find lethal damage possibly, and Rel didn't keep any of her CC against Alistar's flash, so I think that might be a reasonable thing to like reasonable like situation to walk back, I suppose. But otherwise, you could then just like get the wave in. I would say in here it could just justify. Because flash for flash wouldn't even be, you know, too good actually, if he gets your flash out for his, because then it gets a bit tough for you to play against Jarvan, Ari, and whatnot. I think under this condition it's probably fine that you walked back and didn't get the plate and the wave. That Rel used her ability, I would say. Yeah, it feels like if she keeps her CC, she could like CC him, you know, if he flashes in. if she doesn't stay nearby you, you know. Then because Alistar she has to like slowly ramp up, you know, so she has time to hit her the stuff. But the way you were spacing was really messy though. Here, look. So you gotta wait. So how do you space this out is you gotta wait until Real procs her Glacial Augment or CCs, and then you try to lean deeper. The problem is you lean deeper without her hitting any CC's abilities, you know. So you gotta think about it like what holds this Alistar back from like walking in. So this has to be super slow down for you to understand. She didn't press anything. You don't even see Real's Q animation or W animation, whatever. And you kept walking deeper as you noticed. So this was like really messy.
Uh-huh.
Because in here normally he could pen WQ you, you know?
Yeah, I see it.
So that's what you got to pay attention to. Like on what condition do I outrange this Alistar? Can I continuously basic attack him? Do I have to space him continuously? Before you... Well, that's kind of weird. You've been basic attacking the minions actually. Okay. What's going on here?
I think I'm griefing.
Yeah, it was really weird. Okay.
That place.
We still pick him up though, which is seemed to be a good thing. It's like we get out here. You decide to recall, and we are out. So far, so
I'm
good.
down a lot of CS. And so like here I press tab and I see like my CS to Kate's CS. And I'm like, how did this happen?
I think you had some messy last hits, you know, if you remember in the earlier situations. I think sometimes you don't like walk towards minions that are about to die, you know. Yeah, our ultimate up and Ghost though, so that's Ghost. Like Ghost can be really good, honestly. On Yunara to kite so many things out actually this game. Then now what do we do? So plate is up, you can one hit it, you know. Alistar is not here. We go in. And this is getting chunked pretty hard actually. Scaling got for Hexopix, It's like they still have like a little bit of a gold advantage, right? Actually, I would say like on some of them, not all of them have a gold advantage, So our our bot, you have a gold advantage over our bot, So then do we have Yuntal? I think we have Yuntal in the base, then we can go boots as well. We still stay for the wave. The problem is this could get riskier and riskier as time passes, because we do have a Jarvanari after all, and we are both really low on their tower. So I would really recommend you guys to just give this tower. It kinda does suck, but for now, both of them been missing for way too long, so I would say that's definitely like the shitty part that
I did decide to give it power, although I did feel really bad
uh-huh.
because the scaler is 0-2 and she's taking my tower at minute 13.
Yeah, that's fine, we can give the tower. It's not the end of the world. The way you position here is a bit crazy, no? I feel like Jarvan could then just EQ you there, no? Like,
I feel like
of
If
his.
he can EQ me there, he can also EQ me if I walk away.
I mean, you can kite to this side so Ral gets to see him, you know?
Ah, yeah, you are right. Actually,
Because this guy been missing for quite a while, and yeah,
so
like this he can reach, you know, but like this he cannot reach anymore. You see, if you position like this, so Ral gets to CC him, and then you still have time to pop your Ghost Flash in case he commits.
I see.
So
Yeah, yeah. I thought you meant to walk back, like through fog left here.
no, I got 2
But
drops, poke, 10k game in games. Alright, congrats, Coco.
I don't know. I also wanted to clear the wave with my ult and heal as much as I could off of the wave.
Yeah, you can still do it if you kite towards the right here, towards the frog.
Yeah, you're right.
So here we still have vision, but we have to keep our eyes peeled to this, and once we see Jarvan, we gotta like insta DPT. Cause if he connects his R, it could be... You get TP'd behind yourself, it sucks. Oh well, that sucks. Okay, so they did TP behind you.
Yeah, I did not look for TPs.
Because usually the trick is usually moving your camera, you know, like this, really
Yeah,
quick.
yeah.
So you basic attack, then you move your camera really quick, then you look back, you know. That's what I kinda like do on top lane. I just, when you hit the tower, you just have to like look like this really quick if they TP.
What I do actually is I click on my map and I drag my mouse like all over the map.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's,
like that.
if anything, that also does something in this type of... So what do we do here? We got our... like kind of like Zeal, we got our Nuntal, and soon we finish Kal as well. It's like Emax versus WMAX. Is Emax even better here?
I really like the movement speed. That helps me space shit better.
Space better versus damage. Honestly, I would say this game it might be fair because they have quite a lot of like threats that you have to kite out. Send it into Alistar. We respect the push though. Oh, I don't like the way you face check in there, huh? Problem is you cannot get
Yeah.
anything and it's really deep where you walked, you know? So we get one kill with deep actually, that's how it goes, because we are out of fuel, so Aris charm is coming, her abilities are low on cooldown, right? And dude, like, we get this, right? And we saw Jaron was here recently, Caitlyn is here, all that, like, they are most likely here. And what's gonna happen is that we get this kill, and we still have to, like, kite away from this bush, because we don't see, like, what kind of CC they will throw at us. And if you don't see the cast time, it's even harder to react to them with your side steps and whatnot. So it's really bad that you kited towards the bush, in my opinion. And then if I kind of like reveal the map, we can see. But Jarma wasn't quite. He was randomly doing blue, or I don't know why does he have his on cooldown, or maybe he EQ'd in now. I'm not sure where was he, but practically we just.
Ari,
I think
Ari does have the charm up.
I think he just like walked away with his Jarvan. It's really weird, honestly. So he kind of walked.
Pretty sure he EQ'd over the one dip.
EQ'd. Yeah, but it's still tough. I think it's still pretty tough
But
to.
Ari has charm up here, so like I should be that here, right?
She has too much burst actually, she's really fat. Caitlyn sets up a trap on it, she doesn't have traps, but her burst is still there, honestly, her burst is still there. And I would just say like the way you kited is pretty much illegal here actually. uh, um, So we just get the kill and kite downwards, kite away from Ari.
Yeah.
Because I don't know why she didn't charm you. She didn't even charm anybody actually. But she had it up at this point, no? She had it up, but she kinda didn't use it. Now she did use it, but they did get like a real kill, I guess. But you know, just based on those two shots, you could already tell, you know, what happens after Ari charms. You know, she just does a lot of fucking damage. Alright, that's fine. But I feel like maybe even German could ban at least like R flash, even if we know that he EQ through the wall, so it could ban get really awkward, huh? Just like the team fight coordination has to be a little bit better, you know? Because once your team makes vision, then we are more likely to commit, but when there is so much fog of war, we kite away from it actually, if they have a lot of threat. We got our PD, but you know what do I see as a problematic thing with PD? It really just gives attack speed, and dude, like we already have quite a lot, and you know what's like the problem? Is that yeah, we are on hit, but it just feels like I think you need damage at this point, no? That's why people like Fint Hunter or IE, basically. Some people even go IE. I just feel like there's something off about PD second, no? Because we have only 138 AD with like a grid build, you know? Like particularly, that's why like people also like Fiend Hunter, you know? But I think if you have Yuntal, I think you can mainly IE it. Or Pen, do we care about Pen? They have some armor here and there and they will get even more by the time you have it. Levels are getting higher.
Is good mixed damage though, so I feel like Pen is not really
Not
necessary
the best.
until they
Yeah.
have a damage mix.
Like an eye, shield bow, right? Something. If anything.
Pen is still good, but it's good if they have a lot of armor, I think.
I mean, this guy has 220. Jarvan has 100 plus. Alistar has like 140 plus. I think I might still be okay actually, but maybe as time passes we'll have to get the other one. So I feel like shield bow or eye, these are the two things in my mind, because for real, 144 armor, we are dealing magic damage, which you know is good though. We're dealing some magic, but our team is having some nice amount of mixed damage as well, huh? We have some AP80. Some AP80.
Here, I press tab, I see her component, and I want to cancel her base so she can't get AE, but and I'm like paying for it, but no one wants to play with.
I think it's something really difficult you try to go for, because you want to get her base recall, I assume, but that's kind of a bait here actually. So again, your team is nowhere. Your Ari is here. We don't see Jarvan on vision. So again, like even if you step up, I mean, realistically, what's gonna happen? She could also maybe trade into you pretty heavily. So especially with Ghost, I think it was especially int to go PD, because we are fast already, so the speed is not that valuable. We have attack speed already, so the attack speed is not that valuable actually from you know, PD, and our E also helps against collision, which makes PD even worse, you know, when you become ghosted, because you already have that from your E. So in some way, I think it's really low value currently. I think your PD. I think like a shield bow would be nice defensively, because if you don't have the best amount of build, that could work. Or I, these are your like really two options I can think of. I would say shield bow best if now, then I later, I would say. Because it does seem like they have quite a lot of focus like into you. Then it also like Fiend Hunter at max, you know, if you wanna get attack speed at max Fiend Hunter to match like the burstiness of your team, but for real you need like some AD DPS actually. It's like Lord Dominic's, that's on my mind, Lord Dominic's shield bow actually mainly, because they are stacking that armor. Because does even the magic damage justify not having Lord Dominic's at this point of the game? So you kinda deal 25 on hit, right? And then you also like split that on hit, but you deal some.
It's a 25 and then another 25, and my Q is active. So the passive and the active are both 25.
So it's like 50, then you also like on crits you deal like 10% magic damage. But the good thing about Lord Dominic's, even Lord Dominic's itself actually amplifies your magic damage, you know, because of the Giant Slayer passive, if you think about it.
Yes. It does.
If you think about it. So even that gonna be amped, like mainly against tanks, durable ones. Nah, like I think without Lord Dominic's we can't play it. Like even if we have shield bow, the problem is we don't deal damage, you know. So even if we peel ourselves, we better be outplaying some things and going Lord Doms here. That's what I would say, you know. Anyhow, I put it. I think we just don't deal damage. That's a big problem, you know. I was thinking of the defensive, you know, shield bow, but it seems like bigger problem is we don't deal any damage, you know. But yeah, do you have any questions?
I don't know, what do you think of the game state right here?
So it's currently 18 to 24. And so the problematic part is that there are like some two defensive drakes. They are pretty fed, right? So now what we have to like look into is just hover around, basically like just watch out on the map and see if your teammates are in position to sort of peel you if they are collapsing. You've got also like just think about like okay, we are walking mid lane. What do we have to respect? What kind of fog of war do we have? Do we even want to step up this much? And you have to like again just ask questions. Now there's some fog of war. We do have our Edo and Flash. And so particularly like how deep do we want to like step up at this point, you know, because we do lack a lot of vision over this area. So this is where you have to like decide if you want to go deeper or let the wave in just go in and just last it is, you know. You gotta ask him questions, and that's why he did decide to do something, break his decisions, process some mistakes in game. No, you gotta ask him questions. Okay, got it, chief. So here we do commit for the wave, and seems like. So what do we think are our options? Should you currently rotate bot lane or should we stay mid lane?
I think I stay mid.
This is stay mid. Aurora shows up here, and it seems like they are duo side laning for some reason. Okay, so we keep clearing this out. The problem is we have zero vision on Baron and they are really hovering around that area. Seems like it's very likely a give. I don't know if we even have the stats to fight them. Let's see. Shyvana. Sion is kind of.
No, I don't think we do. I think the game is like doomed at this position.
Tough because without
So
any vision we have to give that Baron, I would say. Yeah. I think it's really
yeah,
good that you took the tower.
I'm just trying to trade well.
I think it was definitely like a good decision on your part. It's really tough to walk in. It's really tough to fight them. They have the vision control, so there's just too much. There's too much on the stake when it comes down to like baroning. So we got Aurai. Now we're gonna like look forward for like quite a difficult team fight because they have too many flashes. They have quite often too many flash threats towards you, and their champions also tend to like engage into you. So there are quite a lot of things that could go wrong if you think about it. So we can shove this out. And you sound so unsure. Smiling face. I think most likely what we can do is just like watch out for Rel to like get like a big art, and we have to like send it. So they're looking mainly to short rate here. I don't think so it was a big mistake from your part that you didn't rotate, because I think your team shouldn't just send it. They genuinely shouldn't send it, and I believe even if you stepped up, you wouldn't really be able to do a lot. I think it was totally fine actually from your part to not go in. Holy, our damage is cooked without Lordoms. I think that's where like the main problem started from. His team minted a bit. Yep.
Pretty sure they all like flashed on me that fight.
Yeah, they flashed on you. That's one of the problems. The other one that this guy has 300 armor. This guy has like, you can kind of see that even if things go well, we just don't have the numbers to fight them properly. That's what I would say. Um, yeah, this looks like it's like a GG game. So for now, I think like the laning phase was a little bit messy. If you remember early on, the spacing was a bit wrong, and I think you got a little bit unfocused on last hits. Do you think there's like a particular reason on like why you got so unfocused on your last hits?
Don't remember.
Because is there like a particular reason that makes you, made you to like lose your concentration there?
I think I probably just want to push the wave as fast as I can very often. And like, yeah, don't focus on the last hits.
I think there are some cases where they are just literally like that because we are on the clock, and it so happens that we have to get that B off or they could rotate on us. So I think in that case scenario it's totally fine. But how do you even calculate if you just have to like push in the wave as fast as possible, or you could just get the last hits off as well meantime?
I think I just have like I have like a pretty good idea of when people come back at a base.
So
And
how
after
quickly do
this,
people arrive bot lane from the base? Do you know that?
20 seconds.
It's usually 17 seconds for bot and top, and for mid lane it's like 15. But some things like a pike W, of course, or if someone plays Riven on top lane, she could also spam more abilities to get close faster. There are like some, different champs that are faster at arriving, but it should be around 15 seconds. Uh, and that's what you kind of like have to watch out for. So that's how much time you have after they respawn. So even if you kill them, like you can add the respawn timer in your mind, and like how much time does it take for them to arrive in lane, if it makes sense.
See.
Um, did I just think like it's also nice if you have like a secondary pick beside like Yunara. Um,
Is she not a great blind pick every game?
I think the downside is she could suck into pokes if you don't have like an engager, or basically she's like a basic attacking, ADC. She has a bit of a skill shot on her W, but she's mainly like a basic attacker. And so what's happening is that you like some games. What feels off about Yunara is that either you don't have actually like the capability to like stand still and basic attack into them, or B scenario, even if you get to do that, they're just like pretty good at like dealing with your champion. Usually you kind of like pair Yunara with like a enchanter like Lulu, that's ideal, you know, or Braum. But if you don't have the champion for that, or your support is quite strong in the earlier game, if you have a Velko support Nautilus, you could also pair it with a more aggressive ADC if it makes sense. Um, just to kind of like match their pressure. It's like Ghost Barrier.
I like Ghost a lot against like melee support.
Yeah, I think Ghost is like still useful on occasion. Ghost is still useful on occasion. Um, yeah, I think just like the build that can fall off, you know. Um,
I see.
Because even in games like this, you know, you proc Yuntal, then what's gonna happen, you know? You either get slow that she could walk away, or if you want to walk in, they have too much slows and CC, so you're forced to go off. So even like the team fight pacing does matter a little bit when it comes down to Yuntal, you know. So then it doesn't reset like super well, huh? It's like kinda like the downside. Sometimes you gotta like try a little bit both, you know, and then you can see like which one feels better at which scenario, you know.
Yeah.
Side of that, do you have any other questions?
Not really. I don't really know what to ask.
Well, if you think about it, like, is there like something that in general, beside these mistakes that we talked about, that you would be lacking, you know, that you have to improve on?
Uh, no, I don't think so. I can't think of anything right now. Is that what I mean?
Alright, so just from the last game, we can go to like, again, like type down some, you know, notes here. So, um, yeah. So if your support is like leaning into engage, that's what I noticed, you know, if you remember, often you don't step up to follow up if you remember, so you gotta observe your support's positioning, then move in accordingly, you know. And also, you know, if you remember, like that one time we tried to shove in the wave, you know, um, shove in the wave, you gotta like ward first, you know, so you actually have vision. Um,
Yeah, I remember. I got you.
Set up vision, then also like notably, I think your spacing fall off, so you gotta like observe, you know, the spacing of the fight, and based on that, you gotta like click back or forth, depending if the enemy engager is stunned or whatnot. So be a bit more cautious. Wow, what the fuck did I press? So be a bit more cautious on that. Be a bit more cautious on spacing. Then what else fall off? I think just less it could be a bit better. Better. Aside of that, what else is there? I would say like team fight positioning, right? So after you get a pick, you cannot always like go for more unless your team actually like makes vision. So for that, you know, like that Ari situation that happened earlier, you know, because otherwise we could get a pick, but then we end up dying, so that's not even worth, you know. So be a bit cautious with that.
Yes.
What else happened this game? I would say like probably you could be a little bit more active on your W's if you remember during the laning phase. Because I think you just didn't press the button enough if you remember.
Probably could
Because
use it a bit more. Yeah.
I think it helps with kiting, but sometimes if you just press W, you could set up your rel to engage if it makes sense, you know? Or it just kind of helps you to space the Alistar. So once you W the Alistar, it's really hard for him to step up and W you if it makes sense. So you could just short trade into the enemy support, you know, at first.
Makes sense.
And so this laning phase. I'd say like Fiend Hunter over PD is consistent, you know. Is overall like consistent, especially if your team is like very bursty and you wanna finish off a kill really quickly. I would say it's a bit more rare if you would like to actually go for PD if you already have the Kraken mobility and the Fiend Hunter one, you know. So that's often tends to be a bit more practical if you think about it. But usually you don't wanna go Fiend Hunter with Yunara, then you wanna go for more like crit damage, of course. Now, what else was there in this replay? I think just positioning, just aim to look at the map and see if you have cover, you know. But sometimes it happen. I think just like respecting overall everything kind of like revolves around like respecting Fog of War more, you know, when you don't have proper amount of vision. Because as an ADC, usually everyone will like hunt for you, you know. So that's how it kind of like goes when you walk in a vulnerable position. I think that's all I can like really like remember from the last replay actually.
Okay. But yes, this looks good. Device.
This looks better. What?
So this looks like good advice.
Yeah, this does look like good advice. Do you?
Try to work the. No, never mind. Yeah, I'll just try to work on these things.
So you agree on it? Okay. So I would say like these are like the main things that you have to watch out for as an ADC, you know. And then you definitely will be able to climb like probably like 200, 300 more LPs than you currently are on, you know. And I think at that point, like fixing all of these things will just definitely. I mean, you could even like reach Grandmaster, you know, if you like keep your consistency up, you know. In no time. You can also like pick one of these at a time and just kind of like try to like practice playing, you know, just basically around vision, you know, at the time, or just also like observe like at the time, you know, how your support positions and try to follow up accordingly. So you could like work on things step by step.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Alright, then that's it for now, Dragon. I'm gonna be leaving for now. Have a nice day.
Okay, thank you. You too. Bye bye.
Bye.